Hi, today we're going to go through a series of exercises that will work on flexibility and your core muscles. We're going to focus on your transverse obliques, which are your real deep core muscles, your obliques, which are on the sides, and your rectus abdominis, which is in the front. Those are just the fancy words for where your six-pack is. Also, we're going to work on your glutes or your butt muscles because those help align your pelvis, and that's important so your pelvis doesn't either tilt forward or backward for good back health. Because if it tilts too much one way or the other, it can increase back pain or it can develop back pain over time. So first we're going to start out with a hip flexor stretch. And your hip flexor is right here in the front. And why we want to stretch this muscle is because when we sit a lot, the front of our hip tightens up from constantly sitting. So a great way to stretch this muscle is, what you're going to do is you want to have a sturdy base, like a wall, something that won't move when you push against it. And what you're going to do is, so I'm going to stretch this side. What we want is we want to really feel the stretch right in here. Our front toe we always want in front of our knee. We never want our front knee in front of the toe. We're going to keep our chest up and eyes towards the ceiling. As we lean in, we're going to push our hips forward, keeping our chest up. And we're going to hold, and we want to feel a really good stretch right in here, right where our hip flexor is, and we're going to hold for 30 seconds. When we come back, we're just going to push back and release the stretch after 30 seconds, and go back down, holding, keeping the chest up, making sure that the front toe is behind the knee, and we're going to hold again for 30 seconds, and you will repeat that exercise 3 times and do each leg for 30 seconds. I will have at the end of the video, I will have the listing of all the exercises that we do today with the times and number of reps and you will do them. The next exercise or stretch we're going to do is you're going to take a mat, just like this one, or a yoga mat or anything like that will work fine. What we're going to do is now we're going to stretch our hip, and our hips tend to tighten up a lot too when we sit. So, or if we have wider hips for females, women are a little more exposed to knee injuries than men because they have wider hips. So it puts them at a disadvantage because their knees are almost, it's kind of like almost if you were building a building and my arm is the pole and you had your roof here. Well, if you put if your hips are wide and your knees are in, your base of support is off. Where in men it's a little more straight line. So that's why with women it's really important to have strong glutes and also make sure to stretch out your hips a lot. But it also applies for men as well. So what you'll do is, you'll lie on down on the mat. You're going to take one leg and you're going to cross it over the other, just like this. The same with the other side. And then what you're going to do is, you're going to pull that knee up so we're at 90-90. The heel is facing that wall behind me. You're going to lay on back, and what you're going to do is you're going to push that knee forward towards your chest, and we're going to hold. There's 2 different ways to modify this, to make this stretch harder. One, you can take your hand and you can pull your knee towards you to get a little more of a stretch. And if you even wanted to get more of a stretch, you'll take your hand and place it on your knee here. So as I'm pulling this knee towards me, I'm going to push that knee away. And we're going to really feel the stretch right here on the side of our hip on the leg that's crossed. So if I'm stretching this leg, I'm going to feel it here. If I'm stretching this leg, I'm going to feel it on the side right here. And that one we're also going to hold 30 seconds 3 times each side. After that one, we're going to go to another hip flexor stretch where you're going to lay on back. This one we want to focus on keeping our lower back flat against the floor. So what we're going to do is we're going to tuck our belly in to make sure our lower back is sitting nice and flat. You're going to take your knee, you're going to grab underneath your knee, and you're going to pull it on up towards your chest. And you're going to hold. We're going to feel this one in our hip, a little bit in our quadricep, which is the front of your leg, and also a little in the other leg as well. So if I had this leg straightened out and I was pulling up, you'll feel a little bit of a stretch in this leg, and also you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch in the lower back as well. So each one of these, you're going to hold again 3 times each leg for 30 seconds. So you'll hold for 30 seconds, and then release the stretch, and then hold again for 30 seconds and release the stretch. You'll do 3 times each side. The next one you're going to do is a seated hamstring stretch. So this one's going to stretch the back of the leg, hamstrings to the back. The biggest mistake people do when they do this exercise is they round the back instead of sitting nice and tall. So you can have your feet together. I prefer them to have spaced apart just a little bit because it's a little more of a natural position. You're going to keep your chest up towards the ceiling, and you're just going to slide your hands down, keeping them against your legs all the way down. If you're able to touch your toes, great. If not, that's fine. But we want to keep the chest up. We don't want to lean way forward when we do this. And we're going to hold for 30 seconds and then relax. And we'll repeat that one 3 times. The next one we're going to do is you'll stand on up and you'll do a quadricep stretch. The quadriceps are in the front of the leg. What we'll do is, if you're unable to grab your ankle, you can grab the back of your shoe, or you can grab the back of your leg. If you don't have enough flexibility, I'll show you to be able to grab your foot or your leg or your pants, even if you're wearing pants. I will show you a modified version on the floor right after this one. So what we do is, to stretch the quadriceps, we stand nice and tall. We're going to grab the back of our leg. When we do this exercise, what we want to make sure we don't do is we don't stick that leg out to the side. A big mistake a lot of people make is they'll take that leg and they'll go way out to the side with it. We want to come straight back with it. So I want to focus on going straight back with the leg instead of out to the side, keeping my chest tall, and I'm going to feel right in the front of that leg. Also, when I'm doing that exercise, I want to make sure I have a slight bend in the leg that's on the floor. I don't want to have it locked out. Keep a slight bend in the leg. And you'll do that one 3 times each side, holding for 30 seconds. And again, I'll have it at the end of the video. The modified version, if you're unable to do it, you'll lay on the mat. You'll take your leg that's on top, and you'll stretch back. And again, what we're going to do is to stretch that quadricep, the leg and the muscle in the front. You're going to take the bottom of your foot here, and so we have our knee bent. This leg is straight. And we're just going to lay down. You can put a pillow here if you want, if you prefer to have some neck support. And what you're going to do is you're just going to push that leg back straight behind you to the wall behind you. If you have difficulty holding it up, you can sit it on the floor. So if I'm on this side, if I have difficulty pushing it back and holding, I can sit it on the floor and push it back. But you just got to remember to try to keep that bend as much as possible. And you'll feel that stretch in your quad and your hip flexor too. The next 2 exercises we're going to do are going to work your interior core muscles. So these aren't the ones you're really going to see, but these are going to help a lot with posture and really helping to prevent from any back injuries as well. The first one we're going to do is a front plank, and I'll show you the modified version first. So when we do this, elbows are going to be directly underneath the shoulders, thumbs are up, fingers are loose, or you can make balls with your fist. That doesn't really matter. You're going to have, there's the modified version, so we're going to be on our knees. What we want is, when we hold this, I'm going to hold a straight line with my body. Now, my body is in an angle, but it's straight. If I push my butt up, then I'm not in a straight line. And if I sag my hips down towards the floor, I'm out of a straight line. We want to keep our chest up and our hips back. And when we feel this, when we hold, we should feel it right in the front of our stomach. The normal version, or the unmodified version, once you progress, if you need to, will be on your feet. So what you will do is, elbows are again directly underneath the shoulders, and you're going to pop your hips off the floor. We want to make sure our hips don't sag and our hips aren't way up in the air. We're going to hold a nice straight line. And when we do those, we're going to hold, if you're doing the modified, or if you're doing the regular version, you will do 3 to 5 times and hold between 10 and 30 seconds, and you'll have slight rest in between 5 and 10 seconds. So you'll do a plank for, say, 10 seconds, then rest for 5, then come up again for 10 seconds, then rest for 5. The last exercise we're going to do today is going to work your glutes, which are very important to keeping our pelvis in line. This is called a glute bridge. What you're going to do is, you're going to this way. You're going to have your hands down at the 45-degree angle, palms facing up. Your knees are going to be bent like a crunch. What we're going to do is, on 3, I'm going to lift my hips off the floor, keeping my body in a straight line. It's going to be angled, but a straight line. And when I come up, I'm going to squeeze my butt. So I lift up, I squeeze my butt, I hold my body in a straight line, hands stay down on the floor, chest is up, and if I'm really squeezing, I'm going to feel my hamstrings as well, not just my butt. You're going to hold for 5 to 10 seconds, come back down, nice, slow, and controlled, squeeze, and come back up. And we'll do that exercise. You'll do that exercise 3 to 5 times. When you progress, you can do it up to 10 times, and you'll vary the time between 5 seconds and 10 seconds. So all those exercises and stretches we did today are to help improve posture, core strength, and as well as your glutes to help prevent any back injuries. These are exercises you can do every day. It's great if you can do them every day. It only takes about 10, maybe 20 minutes, but it's something you can do every day, and it won't impact you like overworking or getting injured from doing too much. Okay?